Hello, welcome to Game Rating Review. Today we're doing a card game. Yes, today I'm doing a card game, Star Realms. I got into Magic the Gathering. And yeah, Magic the Gathering has its highs and its lows and its pluses and its minuses. Mainly that it costs a lot of money. And I went to my local comic book shop and I was talking to the guy across the counter, and he said that him and his wife played a game called Star Realms. And that it was very even, and that it was very fun, and it was very fast paced. Have a very close outcome pretty much every time they played. So we got this and played, we liked it so much, we got the expansion pack. Basically the main game with extra more powerful cards in it. Then we decided to get this cool carrying case to carry our cards in. Carrying case wasn't that much, and it was a convenient way for us to get our two decks. One's way more powerful than the other one, so one game will last shorter than the other, but it is a fun game. This will test your friendships and marriages, but it's a deck building game. For starters, they give you these cards here. These are what your life points are, and keep track of your lives that you have. We don't use these. We use pen and paper. That's what we use. And the top hit point on this game is 50. We actually go up to 60 to make the game last a little bit longer and make it a little bit more interesting. So let's go into a deck. So I have separated my deck into two parts. This is what you're going to use initially when you start the game, and this deck is what you're going to use to build your hand that you have. So first thing first, your scout ships. You're going to use your scout ships to buy other ships. This is basically the money in the game. It's what you use to buy other things. So you need scout ships or other ships you can buy in your deck with even more than just 1 point on it, so that you're able to buy more bigger, better ships to defeat your foe. So you get a number of these, and the number changes depending on how many people are playing. The next thing you have is your Viper ships. These have a red number on them. These are the way you attack your opponent, okay? With these, you only attack 1 point per ship. You draw a hand of 5. You could have one of these or one of these in your hand. You'll have a combination of this and this whenever you start the game. So you'll have 3 buying power, 2 attack, or 4 buying power, 1 attack, or just 5 of these guys. Depending on what you have determines the course of the game. So you start with these 2 guys. And there's one other thing I want to bring up before getting the big deck out. You have these cards called Explorer cards. These cards you can buy throughout the game, but there's only a set amount of them. They cost 2 to buy, and they give you 2 purchasing points. And if you scrap the card, which means getting it out of the game completely, then you can attack with 2 points on the bottom. That's a little complicated. You'd have to play the game to understand what scrapping, but basically you're getting rid of it out of your hand, but out of the game completely, and you get 2 points of attack plus the 2 to buy. Your main deck is comprised of a bunch of different ships that do a bunch of different things that are part of 4 different classes. Now, if you look at your Star Realms, you will notice that there are these little insignias. There's 4 of them to be exact. Those are the 4 factions within this game. So whenever you look at your deck, I'm going to split this in half because it's huge. If you look at your card, on the top left shows you which faction it belongs to. The top right shows you how much it costs. If you look on the bottom of your card, it'll show you if this ship attacks, if this ship is for spending, or if it heals. Yes, there are ships that heal, along with other descriptions that'll help you out within the game. Now, earlier I was talking about the ships having factions. Now, what do factions do in this game? Whenever you have 2 cards that are the same faction, they give each other bonuses. So if you look at the bottom and see that same faction insignia that's on the top, that means you get a bonus if you have only 1 more of that ship in your hand. So there are 2 types of ships on this game. There are, the regular flying ships, and there's also bases. bases you use as defense. So if you have a base in your hand and you play it, it will stay in the game until it gets destroyed, and it'll act as armor for them to attack you. So if anyone's coming after you, they have to get over the amount of points of defense it has before they attack you. And their defense points are on the lower right side of the card. And that's pretty much everything about the game. When it starts, you get those initial cards, then you have this main deck that you share with your other players in the game, and you're putting down 5 cards from this deck so everyone can see what you're buying and why you're buying it, so you can go ahead of time and go, oh, they bought this ship, maybe I could buy this ship if they don't buy it before you, and defend or attack in that way. And the whole time you're playing, you know what they have, you just don't know when they're going to choose it. The more you play the game, the less likely you are to know what they're going to pick. So as the game progresses, it actually gets more and more fun, in my opinion. And when the games start, you're just buying up the smaller ships to build up to bigger ones. And when you get to those big ships, when you take off a lot of damage, and things get really, really interesting and fun. Thank you for watching Game Rating Review. My name is Jean-Marc Lejean. Please hit that like and subscribe button if you want to see me do more of this content. And that was my review of this awesome card game that you need to run out and get immediately.